forgot how this works. What are we doing?
Wait, what's going on?
I don't know. I think we're live. Can you hear
We
the
are.
music?
You didn't tell me we were going live.
I don't think you can hear
Told
the
me we were
music.
going to shoot some videos. I can't hear this.
I forgot about Discord. I don't know how to do the things. It's broken. Oh well, here we go.
Hey.
Welcome to another episode of VGXL. I'm your host Daniel, aka Games. Joining me again is the beautiful Fefer from the channel Fefer. And this week we're back. 2023,
We're back.
the first episode. We're back, baby.
Happy New Year.
I know you guys have missed us. It's been a while. We've fallen off. We did the Game Awards back in December, and then we just went on complete hiatus.
We did.
But hi, Fefer. How's it feel to be back?
It's weird. Thank you for asking. I'm so excited though. It's one of those things. It's kind of like riding a bicycle. We're back, and so now we're rambling. Yay, we're back.
All right. I know. It's like, I don't know. It's hard. When you do these things, you don't have a boss, somebody to tell you like what to do. So it's just like, I don't have to do that. You can't tell me what to do, me. I can't tell me what to do.
You're not the boss of me now.
I'm not the boss of me. Yes, you are. No, I'm not. Yeah. Anyway, it's a constant struggle. But yeah, if you're not already following, definitely give us a follow at VGXL Podcast or Video Games X Life everywhere else. Or you can follow Fefer
At twitch.tv/Fefer. Sorry, I tripped over my own words. And we're back. Just cut that out. Edit that out.
Yes,
Okay.
we'll edit that out.
And Instagram, you can find me at Fefer Plays with 2 S's. And you can find me with Fefer Plays on TikTok. And I think that's all I got. Fefer
All right.
Plays on Twitter. Sorry, I forgot about Twitter. Been busy on Twitter all day, but
Yeah, I know.
forgot about Twitter.
But yeah, so what are we doing? What are we talking about? Oh yeah.
The
Where
New
we've been.
York.
No, we have an outline.
Oh,
Follow the outline.
it's like riding a bike.
Like riding a bike, you just fall a few times, scrape a couple knees, and
I gotta go into the corner of shame. I'm so excited that I'm just like, what's an outline? Let's talk about everything.
I
Where
know,
we've
right?
been. So, where we've been. I've been on a stream hiatus since Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And so I've been catching up on very old shows, caught up on Breaking Bad. We've moved on to Better Call Saul. Holy crap. I totally didn't pay attention to any of these shows when they were out and live and out every week while Games was all up in there. But he watched everything with me and it was just like brand new for him too. So it was
Mhm.
really cool. um uh, I watched a bunch of things on Netflix. A lot of things on Netflix. Never Have I Ever. Um Drawing a blank on other things, but I'm currently watching Everything Sucks. I've been watching a lot of like high school themed shows, I'm noticing. But it lets the time go by.
You miss high
Like,
school?
no. No. Definitely not.
You living in the past, man.
Living in the past.
Nah.
But yeah, I've been mostly relaxing.
Yeah, I hear
Mostly
you.
relaxing.
Same
We've got-
here. Yeah.
We've got all the things going on at home. We've got kids, baby girl. We got taekwondo for the baby girl now,
Yeah.
and so we're just doing a lot of different things. So that's been taking our time, and the holidays kicked in.
Yeah, it just kind of
But,
fell off. My motivation's been kind of all over the place.
yeah.
So it's just like, you took your break, then I was, I took my break, then we took our break, and it's just like, then
It's just so
we
easy
got bad
to
news,
stop.
and there's just like, it is easy to stop. So definitely I've been super motivated though, and last like as you'll see, we'll be talking about the New York Game Awards that we attended this week, which was very motivating, because it's like, even though there were big names there, and there, it did have a very community vibe, where it was
Yes.
just like a lot of local hungry content creators all there, and and it
Mhm.
wasn't some like big like crazy event where like like I said, like me and you said prior, before we started recording, it felt crazy to see just like someone like Phil Spencer or Reggie Fils-Aimé just like walking around like nothing, like regular people, which they are, they're just regular people, but to us it's like they're celebrities. So seeing them just walking around just felt so wild,
They're in the
and
news so much, and
exactly.
people like flock to all of them. Even us last night, we were just like, "Oh my god!" And I was like, I saw the Keely a few steps away, and I'm like staring dead at him. I'm like, "That looks like him. That looks like his hairstyle. Is that?" And then he gave me the he was talking to someone and looks at me and then looks away like, "Crap! Did they recognize me?"
I know
I'm
you
not
still had his
looking
mask
back.
on at this point, right?
Yeah, yeah, he had his mask on, so it's just like a, did they notice? And I'm just still staring at the side of his head, and I'm like, "Games, is that Keely? Keely, Keely?" He's like, "Yeah, I think that is." And I'm like, "Oh." You don't realize it, and we were just like fangirling so hard last night that I literally like stepped in Keely's way to be like, "Hi, can I have a picture with you?"
Him in his
He-
sweatsuit. uh,
Fine, he wasn't dressed to impress as the business casual was stated on the whole event
like I said,
website and everything.
I can talk a lot of shit, but I'll chalk it up to like all these guys are busy, and they were paying respects to whoever, whatever Harold Goldberg means to them. So I'll
Yes,
leave it at that. Like you could
I
tell
agree.
like he was busy, Todd Howard was busy. Like he's freaking has Starfield. I'm sure he didn't want people asking him questions about that. He looked beat. I'm sure he's barely getting any sleep as it is. Then to have to be at
Mhm.
some award show to show respect or whatever, and his boss is there. Phil Spencer's his boss. So I'm sure it
That's why
was.
he had to go.
So it's just like, hey, you want to go to New York? I was like, sure. I'm
He's
sure they
like,
flew
"I'm
out
warning
like
you,
that
you're
night
gonna
or
be
the
with the
next,
normies."
like first thing this morning. They probably flew out. Yeah.
Right? They know right after they just went straight to the airport.
Who knows? I mean, they got it like that. They can be on a private plane and back in California probably within like 3 hours.
I
So it's
wouldn't be
like,
surprised.
yeah, hell yeah. Like again, I'm sure. And that's so. And he left too. Phil Spencer ran out. I'm sure he didn't come back. I bet money he didn't come back after we saw him like run through those doors.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
anyway, you jumped ahead a little bit. We weren't really supposed to get that crazy, but
Oh, sorry. Okay, forget everything that was said. I got a little excited.
um but yeah, what besides watching old movies, like what have you been playing?
Oh, so I've played Pokemon Violet. I played some Murder by Numbers, which I've been playing like on and off for the past few years. I pick it up and then I just kind of lose it. And then I pick it up again. I'll do like half of a case. I'm on like the third case right now. But I love it. If you love Picross and you love a narrative, it's got both. It's great. It's definitely really good. I really get stuck into it when I play it, when I pick it back up again. I'm
Hmm.
I just get distracted by other games. Um but then I also did play, like I said, Pokemon Violet, which was really fun. I have to say, aside from the slowdown, the memory leak that, I mean, every time I closed the game out, made sure to start it from scratch every time I opened it. It still had some slowdown while running around. I have to say, like grassy fields and stuff like that, where you try to turn the camera too fast and it slows down something terrible there. But I really, for what it was, I really enjoyed the hell out of that game.
Yeah, no, put
I'm
this. I've been a Pokemon fan since Red and Blue, and it's like I gotta say, this is the first time in probably like since maybe Sun and Moon. And I didn't play Ultra
mhm.
Sun and Moon, even though I heard those were like obviously the better versions. But
Mhm.
Sword and Shield really didn't do it for me at all. So it's like this was a breath of
Yeah.
fresh air. It felt new. It felt it kind of like the open world. They did it right. There was multiple storylines. The storylines were at least complete and coherent. Um, you know, because they most of the storylines are very basic. It's like, oh, okay, go to the next gym. All right, hey, I'm this weird gym leader, and this is the thing, and you know, you got to fight the Team Rocket or whatever. And it's like, it was cool that they gave, like, you know, the Team Rocket of the game called Team Star. You know, they got their own storyline.
No, that was
And
really
yeah,
cool.
and it was cool that you know, it was cool, the three storylines, the open world, you know, whatever. But you're right, the performance really dragged it down. It sucks that it is definitely one of the better Pokemon games since, like I said, in a long time. But still, like, it sucks that the performance then is what bogged it down. So now you have a good game with a bogged down performance. So it's just like, you know, you can't win.
Yes,
But it definitely felt really awesome to play, and the battles
it
were
did.
decent and things like that. So I was
It looked
definitely,
really good too.
yeah,
Again, aside from the slowdowns, it
it
was
did look
really,
pretty
really
good,
pretty
yeah.
game.
Because looking back at X and I mean at, well, yeah, X and Y, Sun and Moon, because I turned on my 3DS, but that's another story. And then looking at Sword and Shield and going back to this game, it's like, yeah, this is definitely the better look. While the colors are a little more vibrant in the older games, like the graphically, you can tell, like, yeah, the everything, you know, a lot of the graphics were a lot better in this game compared to the other ones. Just
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
the performance at that point, if they could, there's supposed to be an update in late February. Finally, like the 1.2 update. Right now they're on 1.1, and 1.2 is coming out late February. So maybe we'll see something happen, you know, around that time where, you know, there'll be better performance. Because I totally intend to go back to the game even when the DLC. I'm not done with Pokemon. I honestly wouldn't
Yeah, me
mind
neither.
continuing to play. It's just there's just so much other stuff to play. And then, like I said, I
Mhm.
wanted to put my Pokemon in Pokemon Bank, so I turned on the 3DS. That just felt crazy. Remember how awesome the 3DS still can be. It's still way more portable
Mhm.
than the Switch is. It has it has the better version of Animal Crossing. Because going back to our old
It
Animal Crossing game, it's
does.
like, yo, there's so much in the old Animal Crossing that's not, and that's not going to be in New Horizons, which sucks.
It's a damn shame.
It
They
is.
really ripped us all off because
It's
there's so
true.
much.
Like, they took out so much. There was one content update, well, two, that they promised, and the second content update wasn't that great, and the first one was just all right. Like, you know, like there was so much more in New Leaf, and then they had we never played the 1.5 amiibo version update, so we completely
Mhm.
missed the boat on that. That I'm like, yo, I'm about to start a new game on that, or continue my game on it, because I don't need to start a new game. Lots
Yeah.
of, because I already know how to play Animal Crossing, so it's like, yo, I'm very tempted to go to my town and start a new game. I mean, continue my game and just, you know, keep doing what, you know, the things in it, you know, get the
Mhm.
whole main street unlocked and get all that stuff going. Because, yo, we missed out on like
We
the
did.
content update.
I know. I did continue my village, right? My town. And I've got somebody new coming in. The last time I played it, they're like, "This house is reserved." I'm like, "Oh, I have a new person coming in."
Oh, snap.
So I'm excited for that. I you reminded me. I have to actually go back to it so I can see who they are.
But yeah, exactly. So besides Pokemon, what did I play? I played Callisto Protocol. I don't know if I mentioned that during the award show, but that was pretty fun. Um, you know, but these last few, yeah, I got stuck on Pokemon like for like 2-3 weeks straight. Most of January, it's been nothing but Pokemon the whole time.
Mhm.
But like I said, after whipping out the 3DS, I got a couple of games on it, and I started playing A Link Between Zelda, you know, Link Between Worlds. Oh my god, I told that's a 10, now will be a 10-year-old game. It's you know, it's arguably the last real Zelda game that came out, because it has all the dungeons and the items, and it feels like a Zelda game through and through. Whereas like Breath of the Wild was very different, you know, for a Zelda game, and didn't have the
Mhm.
dungeons like it should have had. But either way, it's so fun. You can tell, like, the precursor to the things that they did in Breath of the Wild are all in A Link Between Worlds, where you can go wherever you want. You can explore everything. There's no items that are locked behind anywhere. And yeah, it's really, it's just such a great game. If you still have your 3DS lying around, I highly recommend that. It's a 10-year-old game, but
Mhm.
a very good Zelda game nonetheless. And yeah, I've been having a great time with that. I've been dabbling with other little games here and there, but that game is definitely something something special. It's becoming definitely a special game 10 years
Mhm.
later. And the 3D on that sucker is fantastic. That is like what 3D should have been, for the 3DS. Like the 3D, it still bothers my eyes, but man, is the effect like the most pronounced in that game. But yeah. But yeah, so back to what we did. Normally, if you're a normal listener, we usually go over news, but we did attend this event last night. It was kind of random. We didn't really get to discuss that much in detail like we wanted for Play NYC, but Play NYC was a convention for smaller indie studios that happened back in October,
October.
right? It
Or
was
either that or early. It was early. I think it was the beginning of
the
November.
beginning of
Like
November.
November
Yeah,
5th or
I think
something.
you're correct. I think it was the beginning of November. So did we hear about the Game Awards before that?
Mm, yes.
I think it was like
We did
right
hear about
before
it.
that we heard about the New York Game Awards. Well,
Yes.
or either way, we had. How did we even do you remember how we found out about the New York Game Awards? Did you hear about it?
Actually, I don't remember. I have no idea. It just all kind of
I think
came
it was a
together
mix. I think we heard about Play NYC, which was also part of the New York the Critics Circle thing or whatever. It was like they were like in.
because they had a table there.
Yeah. Well, anyway, either way, we heard about that. We were like, that it's more of a nonprofit. They help poor and homeless students, and they use like game development as a way to connect and things like that. And it sounded like a really awesome, like,
It's amazing.
yeah, they have a
Mhm.
really awesome what's like a mission statement, like, or a really awesome mission in where they're helping young impoverished and less fortunate kids up in the Bronx, step foot into the gaming world, and I think that's such a great cause. So
Mhm.
the Game Awards is more of a fundraiser and things like that, and run by Harold Goldberg. And so it sounded interesting. This is the 12th annual one, so it's been going on for years. Had no
Mhm.
idea, and it just sounded like something awesome to go to and rub some elbows. And that's once we heard that Reggie Fils-Aimé was going to be there, it just seemed like something cool to go to in New York.
Mhm.
And yeah,
Mhm.
it was a good time. Like I gotta say, like for it being such a small shindig, it was I don't know. You had a great time, right?
I had an amazing time. It was so fun because like you mentioned before, it felt like this community thing. It was all the gamers. There were a lot of I noticed now after the fact we noticed there were other fellow podcasters that
Right,
were there. So you knew everybody that was there. We even recognized a few faces from the Play NYC convention that we went to.
right.
They also made it last night. So that was really cool to see and it was just really exciting all in all.
No, it definitely was, and I'm happy we went. It was I know it was like on a Tuesday night, so it was like at first I was like, damn, it's kind of late, but whatever. I was happy that we made it, and like I said,
Mhm.
it was good. So it was in the what's the School of Visual Arts theater.
Yes.
And we got there and it was just they were just signing people in. They had open bar, which is really nice. Like they didn't have to do that. They so they were serving free drinks.
Yeah.
Just beer and wine, but still like free water, beer and wine was awesome.
Yeah, and
um
sodas if you
yeah,
wanted.
and then like we're standing there and we just see like Reggie Fils-Aimé just pop out. And we're like, what the hell? Reggie Fils-Aimé just walking around, like, like that felt so crazy because
It
it's like you
did.
see this guy for years. I mean, come on, like he was, he's the one who introduced the DS or whatever I think it was. And
Mhm.
when he first
Mhm.
like came out, and when he started getting popular, and it's like um then he worked with Iwata in a lot of funny skits, and he My Body Is Ready, and it's like, so
Exactly.
he's a celebrity to any Nintendo fan or gamer out there. He's a celebrity. So seeing him walking around just felt like I felt so starstruck, like, yo, this guy's just walking around. The next thing you know, we turn around and Todd Howard is just standing signing in, and it's just
Yeah.
like Todd Howard is just right there walking through the front door, like,
Mhm.
like I felt like such a I felt like I'm like I wasn't worthy. Like, what are we doing here? And they're just regular ass people. They're just game developers. It's just
Yeah,
they're the they're well known in their field. So it's like
absolutely.
anybody who games, knows these names already. So it just felt so wild. And then then we walk into a theater and Phil Spencer just standing around, and they're just all having a conversation. Then, like you said, then Jeff Keighley is just like there, and it's just like he was out of it though, man. I don't know what like I said, he was there to pay some respect. I'm
He
sure.
was playing it low key. That's
Yeah.
why. That's probably why he didn't dress up.
Hmm.
Maybe we're just making up excuses for him, and he didn't give a crap. Whatever the case.
Right. Like, I'm just staying curious. I'm not judging, right?
Yeah,
It's just like
yeah.
I'm like we don't know, you know.
You do you, boo boo.
Exactly. He has like three major shows happening, you know what I mean? Like he is probably like already trying to design E3, who knows. But
Mhm.
or Summer Games Fest.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so what I will say is, for it did, it was very small. It wasn't a packed house, unfortunately. I was, it would have been cool to know that, like, a lot of people spent money and to come and to support. Um but
Exactly.
they did have some decent production value. I will say, you can watch the stream, by the way. We do a Google search for New York Game Awards 2023. You'll see the live stream right there, so you can see everything that happened there. It
Mhm.
does look like a very small, like, low budget show, I will admit, but I'll say, like, their timing was great, and they said, like, oh, the nominees
Absolutely.
for R, and then the video popped up on the big screen. I was like,
Exactly. Exactly. No, it was
could have been
definitely very
worse.
great. Whoever edited the whole nominee snippets on there,
Mm-hmm.
they from everything that was shown on there, even the when they showed the world premieres,
Yeah.
it was all a really great time. I thought it was great. And like you said, the sound is good. It was the visual and audio were all very good, and it was definitely a great time. And all the people that went up there that are part of the committee of the circle, they were all there just to the nines, and it
Mm-hmm.
was a really nice time. It was very cool,
Yeah, absolutely.
and
Yeah, I mean,
definitely would want to go again.
for sure. This is probably gonna be a regular event that as long as I'm doing this type of stuff, I definitely would want to cover it again. I definitely look forward
Mhm.
to going to Play One NYC and other
Hell
conventions
yes.
again. I'm already looking forward to the retro convention. I definitely want to go back to that next year. I mean,
Yep.
later this year. Jesus. And
All right.
yeah,
Yes,
like, I don't
exactly.
know, I definitely, it was, like I said, it was all around a good time. And we took,
Mhm.
being able to take pictures with these guys, like, I'm happy that they were, okay with taking pictures and stuff like that. So it was good, so yeah, so let's get, so they did cover some awards, and I definitely would like to cover that in this podcast today. um
Mhm.
let's see what we got. But yeah, so they used uh like names from New York, to give out these to give out these give out the awards. Is this in any particular order?
I don't think so.
Yeah, these are not in
No,
order,
they're
right?
not in the same order that no. No, no, no.
Okay. Where you found that I wasn't in order either?
Mm-mm. This is the exact order that they had it on their website.
Because it starts with, like, game of the year. I don't want to say that first. All right, well, we'll start with everything after that. So you can start it off, actually.
Okay. So the Off-Broadway Award for Best Indie Game, that was won by Vampire Survivors. So, that's awesome. What was it?
Yeah.
How did they call it? The throw everything at you. Everything's on everything everywhere
Yeah, something
game.
like that. Yeah. And I'm happy that that one, like, let that game needs its recognition and it needs its flowers. And I'm happy that even if for the small award show that Vampire Survivors won. And the things you would think, that even though it's um a smaller award show, that maybe other games would win that didn't win at, like, Keeley's Game Awards or anything else. And I'm like, look at the Herman Melville award for best writing in a game, God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah.
And it's cool though. They
Yeah.
had the what was it, the lead art designer or something like that, like the visual.
Yes.
I forget. It was like but yeah, the lead artist of some sort that accepted the award. So that was cool. Um, then Statue of Liberty for award for best world, Elden Ring. So it's like,
Elden Ring, yeah.
so it's like I thought we would see different things win, but yeah. All right.
I thought it was really cool for the Tin Pan Alley Award for best music in a game. That was won by Metal Hellsinger.
Yes.
That's awesome. I think that's well deserved. Yes, I haven't played through the whole entire game, but I think for what I did play, I think it's definitely well deserved because wow.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
And then they had the Great White Way Award for
Mhm.
best acting in a game, and that was Manon Gage as Marissa Marcel in Immortality. I was hoping, like, even though she wasn't nominated, but I still think that what's her face from God of
Oh,
War that
yeah, I
played
know.
Freya should have won. She played the
Yes.
shit out of that role.
She really did though. She did an amazing job in the game.
Yeah, so I'm like, yeah, but Immortality, I figured to win something. That was cool.
Mhm. And we got the Coney Island Dreamland Award for best AR VR game, Moss Book 2.
That was cool, and the devs were there, so that was cool. So, we
That
saw them
was
just
really
walking
cool.
down. What was it like? 7th or 8th Avenue afterwards,
Yeah. I know. I think that was that was the coolest thing, that the fact that after everything was said and done, it's just like everybody's just another person on the New York City streets.
right? The Central Park Children's Zoo Award for best kids game was Kirby and the Forgotten Land. So I was like, again,
Mhm.
see, that's why I'm like, the still big games won this thing.
Yep, exactly. It's another big game. The A Train Award for best mobile game was Marvel Snap.
I was like, I wasn't sure that was gonna win, so I was like, oh wow.
Yeah.
And it was cool hearing. I didn't know that it was a small studio that just worked with Marvel. So that's
Yeah, I didn't know that
awesome.
either.
Yeah, so
Mhm.
that's good to know that they just had a big license, but the devs it's a small dev team and a small studio. Like
Mhm.
they're not anything crazy. It's not like like an EA Activision that has the bigger those licenses or whatever. So that was
Mhm.
interesting.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
And then they had the Freedom Tower Award for best remake, the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, which that was kind of cool because they what they said that if you ever play Stanley Parable, the whole thing is like super meta, like it knows it's super self-aware video game, that it knows it's a video game and it wants you to know so bad that it knows it's a video game and just goes balls deep into that. And it's like you have to watch it for yourself. Definitely check out the live stream and or if you want to see. But it was really cool seeing, that there was something set up specifically for the Game Awards. So that was cool.
Mhm. Mhm. Then they did present the Jolton Joe Award for best esports player. Masaya Amsa Chikamoto won that.
Oh
They
yeah.
did they did have a video thanking everybody and explaining everything that they've done for this past year, which is really cool.
Hmm.
All their achievements. They also had the Chumley's Speakeasy Award for Best Hidden Gem.
That
I'm so happy that Signalis won. Oh
yes.
my god.
Yes,
Delightful.
like
Freaking
everybody, you saw people clapped for
yes.
that. Like people were clapping for Signalis to win that. Like that game was
Yes.
super well deserved, and I'm like, yeah, I'm super happy that game won something because that game really
Mhm.
needs more attention. Signalis, if you haven't played Signalis, you like
It
old school
does.
Resident Evil games that horrors and things like that. It really harkens back to that. The it's very rewarding to figure out the puzzles and it
It
feels
is.
yeah, it feels really good to play that game and there's enough tension there that keep you on your toes. Like like I have a couple of times I'm like, oh crap, getting freaking something getting you in your leg or whatever.
Dreadful. As you're running down the hallway and she's like
Oh
I
yeah.
hate it, but I love it all at the same time.
Definitely that's definitely a good pick for hidden gem is Signalis, because that's definitely a game I'm sure
Exactly.
went over a lot of people's heads. They knew nothing about that. So
Mhm.
yeah, absolutely check that game out. Signalis definitely needs more attention for sure.
Mhm. Mhm.
Man, what else we have here? So I found it interesting. They did towards the end they had the NYCGWB award for best DLC in a game. So that's new. I thought that was kind of interesting. So
Yeah.
that went to Destiny 2 The Witch Queen,
Mhm.
which apparently was pretty decent. So that's cool. It was funny. They had two DLCs from Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I was like, damn, none of those won.
Yeah.
And then there's like the Knickerbocker Award for Best Journalism, which with Justin Heckert from Vanity Fair, which I'm like, I don't know, I felt like that was a little unfair, like for like these, magazines that don't even barely talk about gaming, but hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. Then there was the Elizabeth Jennings Graham Award for the Best Educator, Ryan O'Callahan.
Yeah, he was
You
super
I
hyped. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say he was super excited. I even saw him on Twitter how is showing his excitement and everybody congratulating him. I think that's amazing. I think that's amazing bringing video gaming into education and all that, and he's definitely emphasizing that. I think that's an amazing thing that people are doing and bringing that in and helping
Mm-hmm.
connecting that bridge.
No, it's true, and I'm like gamifying like um education, or using gaming to help educate children. I think it's really hard to pay attention in class sometimes for certain kids. They say like, like it wouldn't be a fair test if you told everybody that had to climb a tree. You know what I mean? Like you can't tell like an elephant and a giraffe to climb a tree to pass a test, right? And if they can't, they're stupid, right? So it's like,
Exactly.
something like sometimes people don't, I wish that gaming was used in, with learning and stuff like that, and not just as an incentive, to pay attention, but I think, as part of the curriculum sounds awesome.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Mhm.
And then yeah, and then the last one, last thing we have here, it wasn't the last. Well, I think it was the last thing, right? Because then Phil Spencer won the Andrew Yoon Legend Award, and it seems like every year they give out this award to people who are big in the industry. And this year went to Phil Spencer, and he got
Mhm.
up and gave a speech. You can check that out again on the VOD of the live stream. And he gave a nice he gave a nice speech. If there's one thing that Spencer's good at, is giving speeches. That dude can give a speech.
Yes.
He's always giving speeches, and he knows how to make a word salad. And but this was nice. It was sweet. Talks about joy, the joy of gaming and what it means,
Mhm.
to just to people, and just the love of video games. And I thought it was well said. So if you want to check out his speech, definitely go do that. But yeah, that
Definitely. It was
was that.
definitely well said.
Mm-hmm. And that was the show. Like, it was 2 hours long, short and sweet. They had oh, that's right. Then they had the two world premieres, which weren't anything too crazy, but they had they showed, what was it? The Studio 54 being rebuilt in all space.
Yes, yes, Null Space. I thought that was
Yeah.
really cool. I would like to check that out.
Right? We have our VR
Shoot.
headsets. We can
Why
totally
the
do
hell
it.
not?
Go dancing in Studio 54.
Exactly.
There won't be any drugs and, sex parties there, but I mean, that's okay.
I guess. Sure.
Uh,
We did
uh,
skip over the Big Apple Award for Best Game of the Year.
oh, that's right. I forgot because that
We
was all the
never
way at the
went back to
top.
it. Yeah.
And that was a surprise.
Ah, God of wait, Elden Ring.
Of course. I was surprised. I was like, Elden Ring really won this too. Like usually it's the small, like the joysticks, awards or some other award show. It'll be um sorry, something just popped up on my feed here. Usually these smaller award shows, other things win or whatever, and it's like, nope. Everybody played Elden Ring. That's how big that game was. That thing is winning every game of the year so far. So congrats to them once again. But yeah,
Nobody was there to take over the stage or anything like
yeah,
that.
there was no mention of Bill Clintons or rabbis or anything like that.
Oh, but Ronnie the Witch did take the
Oh
stage.
yeah.
I thought that was so cool. I saw her walk in to the theater and I'm like, why is she blue? Why is this blue person walking in? And then it all made sense once Elden Ring won. 'Cause she walks down the aisle with her four arms and she's like, I am Ronnie the Witch. Now this is mine. The pieces have all come together.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh wow, she played it so well. And she's just like, ah. And then the video played from Bandai Namco and they're like, oh, thanks so much.
Yeah, those random dudes that nobody's ever heard of.
You're
Oh man.
like, you guys, thank them. You're gonna accept the award. We're too busy doing other stuff right
Yeah,
now.
they're
Go
they're
ahead.
making games and stuff. But yeah, but that was the award show. Like I said, it was pretty good. I really, like I said, it was fun for what it was. Oh yeah, like I said, then there was the other world premiere, which was 8-Bit Adventure, 8-Bit Adventures 2,
8-Bit Adventures too. Yes.
and that's made by a developer in New York, right? If I'm not mistaken. What's his name? I forgot his name now. He has a big name.
Joshua Halloran
What?
from Critical Games.
That was his name?
Yes.
Wasn't it? Doesn't he have 3 names? You're talking about the guy with the big
No.
hair, right?
No. 8-Bit Adventures is not that guy.
Oh,
There was no.
what was the game he showed? Oh, that was
8-Bit
that.
Adventures was Joshua Halloran. Then there was
Uh,
Beatdown City.
Beatdown City. Right.
Treachery and Beatdown City was Sean Alexander Allen.
There you go. That's what I was thinking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, both those games looked really good.
They really did though. We were definitely I feel so hyped because we were lucky enough to get there early enough to get a copy of 8-Bit Adventures because they did give it out to those who attended again while supplies last. So we were lucky enough to get that. So I'm excited to give that a go.
Yep, absolutely.
Because I've been playing on my Switch a bit much here. I dusted the bad boy off, and now I gotta go. I gotta go crying back to my Steam Deck for a bit. So we're gonna try some 8-Bit
Right.
Adventures.
Oh man. And then there was like a musical performance, which was interesting. I forget the guy's name. He played a song, and then he played the Halo theme, which was interesting on guitar. And then a couple of guys from Daily Show came and said some stuff. I definitely if you want to skim through the video, I highly recommend at least skimming through some of it, just to see what it was about, things like that. But yeah, and then after that we went over to to the main lobby, and there was a little after party there, and that's where we got to take pictures with Bill Spencer, and we saw Keely sneaking out the door. You grabbed him by his collar and said, "Take a picture." He's like, "Okay." And then I go to Reggie, and I'm just like, he comes right next to us to our corner. And I'm like, "Oh, hey." And you're like, "Oh, can I get a picture?" He's like, "Yeah, sure." And I was like, "Oh, I'm surprised he's not getting before." He's like, "Well, I was. And that's why I came over here."
Yeah, and I was like, so now we're bombarding you. So I got a chuckle out of him. So shout out to Reggie for
For being a good
letting us
sport. No, for
bombard.
sure he was a good sport. He was a good sport. He was
He
stressed. I'm sure
was.
he was like not too happy with the whole normies being on top of him, but people showed restraint. I will say that. People showed
Yes, no.
restraint.
I think that's why, well, that's what part of why, like, we were obviously, well, one, we were fangirling. We were like so hard because it was Reggie and Phil and then even and Keely, and we're just like, you want to start like bothering them, like, like between drawing a blank as to like what to start a conversation with them with, and to be like, okay, you guys are just kind of here on your, I want to say off time, but not really. and
Hmm.
we're over here like it felt like a bother. We didn't want to bother them too much either because they're being bombarded by all these people in here. There was a few hundred people in there that were trying. Anybody who does play video games knew who they were, which
Right.
was everybody there. So
Pretty
and
much.
game devs and everything like that. Obviously, everybody wanted their minute or so with them, and it just felt like I just want a picture with you. You can go on with your own way. Sorry to bother, but thank you so much.
I'm glad
Type
you
of
got. I'm
deal.
glad you got to them because I don't know if I probably would have punked out in the end. Maybe not with Reggie
I'm
because he was
surprised.
right there. So because he was right there, I would have been. I would probably, he literally walked up and stood right next to us, in the
Yeah,
corner of the bar
yeah,
there. So he was just trying to stay away from everybody.
he
Like I'm gonna
was
be over here one by one. We can keep it a little more organized. But like I say,
exactly.
he was a good sport about most of it. So that felt good. And Phil Spencer was a good sport too. He stood there and took a few pictures. Wasn't too mad about it.
Yes,
So that
yes,
was really cool. Whatever.
absolutely.
And it was a great night. Again, if you're listening to this and you're in New York, like a lot of these game events are really cool. But like talk to the people like busting their ass out there, and it leads to things like this. And it was a great experience, and I'm really looking for. It makes me want to go to more things like this. Like I'm really excited to see what else.
Exactly.
Like I've never been to PAX East, so we're gonna go to that soon. And
Yes,
I'm
we're
excited.
gonna go to that.
E3
Yay!
sooner than later, hopefully. I was hoping by this year E3 would be at E3. But if not, then next year for sure. I want to try to go
Yeah.
to one of these things or whatnot. And yeah, it's been a good experience.
It's been a blast, definitely. I know, and it's crazy because even these awards that we went to last night, it's been 2 years. This is the first time that they've been back in person
Right.
because these past 2 years between all the COVID and quarantining and all that stuff, they've been doing it online. So I feel
Yeah.
like that energy was brought with everybody that was there, that excitement of being in person and just being out, and then you got everybody there. It was just an amazing time. I had a
Oh
blast.
yeah. No, absolutely. All
Yep,
right.
yep.
So but yeah, if you made it this far, I really appreciate everybody listening. We will be back week to week. That's it. I want to be back. I don't want to play no more games except for video games. I do want to return to my streams. Pfeffer, when do you think you'll be back to streaming?
Hopefully sooner than later. I'm yeah.
So
I've
yes.
gotta
Mm-hmm.
organize my gaming thoughts, but I will definitely be back.
Absolutely.
Back,
And same here.
back,
I'm,
back, back.
I'm definitely looking forward to stream. This feels really good. Felt really good to record tonight. So again, thank you, Pfeffer, for joining me as always. I really
Of
appreciate you
course.
being here. And again, if you're listening to this, I appreciate you. Leave a comment, a like. Definitely give a thumbs up to the video. If you're listening on the podcast, again, I appreciate you guys listening there. I know we slowed down a lot, but I'm back. I really feel like I'm ready to hit the ground running again. And hopefully this will be
Mhm.
the second, first of 2 episodes this week, because we didn't really cover any game news. I definitely want to get back to talk about more game news. I just didn't want to make this a 2-hour episode, and I knew there was a lot
Mhm.
to cover.
Mhm.
And if you're here from the Game Awards, or New York Game Awards, or you saw, we met and you listened for the first time, thank you for being here. Thank you for the support. Reach out. I'm very approachable. I'll talk to anybody. So reach out to me on Twitter, or leave a comment on YouTube, or you can find my email as well on Twitter. So at Video Games X Life, or VG, or hit up the VGXL podcast Twitter as well.
Mhm. Mhm. Absolutely.
Any final thoughts for us tonight, Pfeffer?
I don't know. I'm just very happy. Last
That's
night was
good.
just really fun, and it's just brought a lot of new friends upon us, and I thought it was just really fun and very motivating. So
Yeah,
I'm
it's
just very
true.
excited.
And
Very
yeah,
excited for the
another
future.
I forgot, super honorable mention. I've got to talk with Tony Polanco from Tom's Guide now, who works at Tom's Guide now. We've been following him on Twitter for a long time, And you know, I pop into his podcast every now and then, and he was cool to meet in person. Really cool guy, real person. So that was cool. You know, shout out to him. Or whatnot. I know he throws on the Throwdown Show podcast.
Yep.
He talks about gaming. He has like 6 guys with him, so that's another fun one to hear. You know, to hear some banter about video games. But yeah, it was cool seeing him in person, and it would, you know, like I said, I've been following him on Twitter for a while. We've done back and forths on Twitter, but you know, it's always cool to put a face to the name, a live face to the name. You know?
An official meet and greet.
Yeah, exactly. So that was cool. So yeah, it was cool finally meeting him. But yeah. But again, thank you everybody for joining the podcast. And oops.
Excuse me.
Whoops. But yeah. And Fefer, hopefully you'll be live soon. Maybe next week.
I don't know. We'll see.
Before our trip, before our Disney trip.
We'll see. Maybe it'll be a chatting stream. We'll talk it up.
You should come back. I think it's time. I think this is it. This is the warm up right here.
That would excite me.
You got everything updated. Your camera still works. Your mic still works.
Everything still works.
You just have to go. The dust flew up into the air.
Audio completely cut out.
Oh, mine?
So
Exactly. That's how much dust was around.
Oh man. Oh my goodness.
But all right then. Well, thank you again, everybody, and we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.
Oops.